Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Just to recall, in our last video we have discussed the basics of the Python programming in our 1-2 notebook. So we can concatenate or combine different strings variable using plus operators. For instance, if we have a sentence is equal to let's learn, this is a string. So we can write anything within these apostrophes, and then we want to connect it with the course name and then plus sign of exclamation. So as we recall it that we have already assigned this variable a value. For instance, course name in the earlier we have give it, so we have give it the value data science fundamentals to the course name. So the variable has a value of data science fundamental. So you can also check the course name as well. If I press escape A, it will create a cell above this. If I want to check that what value I have assigned to the course name, so I can write it here and I just press shift enter. So you can see that the course name is data science fundamentals. If we want to run this cell, then the output would be let's run plus course name and plus Eric. So you can see that after concatenating, the final statement is let's learn. The course name is data science fundamentals, and at the end it has placed the sign of exclamation. Note that if we attempt to include the year variable, we can obtain an error. If we add sentence let's run plus course name and plus in, and then I want again the operator plus and I want to add year as well, you can see that you will face an error. You can only concatenate string, not integer. So that means the year is not a string. Let's first check. If I just press escape a cell is created above this. If I want to see that what I have assigned the value to this variable, and if I want to see its type, so हम किसी भी variable की type भी check कर सकते हैं using type, and I have to enter it in the small brackets. And if I again run it, you can see the year type is integer. That means this one is a string because it is enclosed within apostrophes, and then course name is also string. You can also check the type of course name as well. If I type here, sorry, if I just type here the course name, press shift enter, you can see course name is a string and this one as well string, and in is also within apostrophe, so it is also string. If I want to see the year type, it is an integer. So that is why we have that. So we can change its type to string. So if I press bracket and I put it str, close this bracket, run it, you can see now the type of the year is changed to string. So if we just type str before year, so now the year type is changed into the string. Run the code, it will definitely concatenate all the variables. So you can see that concatenating all these points because we have changed the type of the year to string as well. So this way we can also change the type of a given variable using the type and within small bracket the function. So if we want to see the type of the assigned variables, we have already assigned these variables the values, and if you want to see types, we can just type print into type and then we have entered the assigned variables. So you can see this is an empty static. Within the apostrophe there is nothing, so it is an empty string. Its type would also be a string. So if we run this cell, you can see the first one is string. So course name is also string. So here is an integer, 2.8 is a float, and this one is a string as well. So now write code in the cell below. You can see that we have assigned a is equal to true and b is also equal to true. There's a difference between two variables. So you can see that if without static we enter true and that is capital, then this is a boolean variable, so its type would be boolean. But if this true is placed within apostrophe, then this would be simply a string. Check its type as well. Pause this video and try to check variable type as well. So if I check the type of a variable, and also I want to check the type of b variable, and then if I run this cell by pressing shift enter, sorry, I haven't closed this bracket as well. So if I press shift enter, then you can see that the type of A is boolean because it is a special character, and if it is within static then it is string, its type is string. Now we'll moving toward the printing and IPython variable output. So it is interesting to see that अगर आप without print किसी भी variable उसकी assigned value को check करना चाहते हैं, you can just type the variable name, press shift enter because you have already assigned this variable a value. So if you want to see its assigned value, you can just type the variable and press shift enter. You can see that the assigned value to this variable is let's learn data science fundamentals in 2021. Similarly, if we have number of variables in a cell, it will print only the last variable value. So if I press shift enter, you can see it will print the season variable only. But if you want to check all the values of this variable within a cell, then you have to press print before each variable. So now you can see that each variable value you will get the output. So this is very interesting part. So if you want to combine variables with strings, there are multiple methods of accomplishing this and altering string formatting in Python. So first हम modulo operator को use करेंगे to combine different strings. So the text is equal to my name is modulo operator and I am modulo operator centimeter tall. Sentence would be within apostrophe, and you can see the modulo operator, and this variable is name and the second variable is height. So within a string we can assign variables. So we have to assign the values of this variable. For instance, the name is Rashid and the height is 180. If I run this, so if I run this cell, you can see an error because name Rashid is not defined. So what is the mistake I have made in this code? So definitely I haven't make it a string. So I have to place the apostrophe at the both sides of my name, and then if I now run this, you can see that within a string I have added the two variables, this point and this point. So my name is Rashid and I am 180 centimeter tall. You can change its type as well. If you just write here F, run it now, you can see that 180.00, this one. So if I directly put it here, a value in decimal places, then if I now run it, you can see that it by default giving the value up till 6 decimal points. So if I want to restrict it to 3 decimal point, then I have to write here 0.3, or if I want to restrict it to 2 decimal points, then I have to write it 0.2 before this float. So if I now run it, you can see that 180.33 would be your desired answer. So if I write it 0.3, then you can see 3 decimal points. So that's how you can change its type and run these cells. So now we have another method known as dot format, which is also used to combine different strings. So in this method, you can see we have a string, and wherever we want to add a variable, we'll place a curly brackets, and for that at the end of the string we have to write dot format, and again name a first variable and the second variable. Run this, you can see that since we have already assigned this variable value here, so it will recall it. So I have assigned this variable this value and height 180, so it will automatically assign these variables in these curly brackets. So similarly, so if I again write this string, and actually in Python the index value starts from the 0. This one is the first value, but its index in Python is 0, and this is the second value, but its index is 1. So that's how it will proceed in Python. The index from 0 means the first value, 1 means the second value. So if I write 0 in the curly bracket, that means this is the first value, which is name. So it will place the value of this variable here, and then where I have typed 1, that means this one, the second variable. So if I add the third variable here, for instance course name, and I just write it here, and I can say it is 2, and then I run this cell, So you can see that my name is 1 means this height, and so this variable, so which is 180, so my name is 180, and I am 0 means name, Rashid, centimeter tall, and whatever the variable you have assigned here, it will automatically printing all those variables into these curly brackets. So if you want to use a same variable multiple times, then it's a good method to use. So now we will have the plus operator to concatenate strings. So we have already used this method. So you can see the syntax. If you can see a lot of confusion regarding the apostrophes and a lot of plus signs, if you run this, you can see that there is an error. So just comment that why you are facing this error. This is because the height is an integer, so you have to change the type of this height variable. And now if you run this cell, you can see that my name is this and I am that centimeter tall. So now we have the fstring method to concatenate strings. So this will work in Python 3 but not in Python 2. So its syntax is very clear. You can see before the string you have to place f. My name is within the curly brackets, the variable which you want to assign, place its name. Then I am again the curly brackets where you want to place your variable. We have already assigned these variables values. So if you run, you can see that you have the desired output. This method is very clear that only you have to put f before the string. So for my personal preference, I think the syntax is nicely. You can see more clearly what's going to happen. Yes, strings can be multiple lines. So if you want to write a string in a multiple lines, for that we have to use three quotations before the string, and within this we can place as many lines as we want, and we have to close it with the three quotations, and then we have to write it in the dot format as well. And if we run this cell, you can see that we are facing an error. So you have to fix this error by your own, that why we have this error. So it's basically highlighting the text, so that means we have to write it text, and if we run this again, then we still have the error. So check it again and fix this error by yourself. So close this curly bracket, and if you run it again, then you can see that आपके पास output is 2 lines में यहाँ पे आपके पास आ रहा है. Similarly, we have another multi-line string. We write within 3 quotation marks, and if you run this, you can see you have error. So you can see that this is not a 3 quotations, so we have to place the third quotation as well. And if you print this one, you can see that we have the desired output. So this is the plus equals operator. If you want to append one string to the end of another, like so. So this is a is equal to a plus b. If we use the plus equal to operator, which is a plus equal to b, which is actually equal to a is equal to a plus b. So if you run this cell, you can have an error. So you have to fix those error by yourself. You can see that we haven't closed this bracket. So if you now run this, you can have the desired output. So you have printed variable a, which is hello, and b is a word. So a plus b is hello word. So instead of a is equal to a plus b, we can simply write a plus equal to b. So this is the same thing. So if you write a is equal to hello and a plus b is equal to b, so this would be the same output as we have for this code. So now if we have x equal to 0 and we want to print it, and then if we have x plus equal to 1, this is equivalent to x plus 1. So x is 0, 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So if you again put it x plus 1 equal to 1, so here we have output of x is 1. So now the x is 1. So 1 plus equal to 1 is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So now the x value is 2, and again if 2 plus equal to 1, so 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So if you run this code, so you can see 0, 1, 2 and 3. That's how it works, plus equal to operators. So similarly, if you want to decrease the number, you can just write x is equal to 10. If you want to decrease its number, so you can just simply write x minus equal to 1, and you can run this code. But you can see there is an error, so you have to fix it by yourself, that what is the mistake in this code, and you have to fix it by yourself. So yes, we have, instead of variable x, so here we have correctly write the print x, but instead of x we have print here v, so we have to change it with the x, likewise here as well. So all the v's are replaced with the x, and now if you run, you can see that you have the decremental x values. So yes, there is another important point, that it can be difficult to find which specific line you are facing an error. So for instance, if we have due to this, if you have error, so it is saying that line number 8, but you don't know that what is your line number 8. So you have to simply go to the view and click here show line number. So you can see that your line number 8 is this one. So this is your line number 8 where you have the error, so you can just change it, and if you run, you can see. So if you want to remove it, again go to the view and click it here, and you can see the numbering is removed before this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.